welcome to Books and Cooks. My name is Svetha Hetzler, and I am so delighted because today I have with me Susan Apps-Bodilly. And Susan is the daughter of Jerry Apps, who many people know. Jerry is a historian, specifically rural Wisconsin is his subject matter. And we're here to talk about Susan and Jerry's new book, or not so new. I guess it's been out a couple of years now.
Just a couple, yeah.
So
it's such a fun project to continue talking about.
Yeah,
continue eating from.
Yeah, and the title of the book is Old Farm Country Cookbook, and it's a cookbook filled with memories. So there are recipes in there, but every recipe is tied to a memory.
We decided to do this project to sort of commemorate and remember my grandma. This is her recipe box, her little white wooden recipe box, nothing fancy. And my dad was approached with the idea of doing a cookbook with some memories from the 1930s and 1940s using my grandma's recipes. And I have really fond memories of being with her in her kitchen. But then when we started looking at the recipes, we noticed that lots of them are like this, where they're hard to read, or it's just a list of ingredients and there's no directions.
Yeah, it's very vague.
It's very vague, yes. And that's when she was cooking in a kitchen with no electricity and no indoor plumbing, and all of her cooking was on a wood stove. When I thought about her in her kitchen, I never saw her use a recipe. She just knew how to cook. She just knew, yeah. So how do you translate that onto a card, really?
And she probably made do with the ingredients that were on hand.
And that exact phrase, what you just said, that making do, is really typical for that time period.
So is there anything in the book that is your particular favorite recipe, or maybe a go-to that you always make?
That's a great question. I do make these cookies a lot. These are little Bachelor Button butter cookies that are made from brown sugar and butter, and real simple, just baking soda and baking powder, and salt. So they're real simple and kind of an old-fashioned recipe that I make that a lot because it's real easy. And I was saying in the talk too that when I did the recipes for the cookbook, I didn't use an electric mixer or an electric anything because I wanted to experience cooking really the way she did it. So I just stir everything, and that's actually a lot of fun. And it's a very tactile experience when you do everything. It is. I do find it really calming and relaxing to cook that way.
What I'm really excited to make is a strawberry sandwich.
Isn't that a funny thing?
Your dad describes it so beautifully, and I cannot wait for the summer strawberries.
Can't you just see him sitting at a kitchen table with some homemade white bread and some fresh strawberries from the garden? And he probably just invented it. Like, I'm going to smush these fresh strawberries on the bread with a little bit of sugar, and then smoosh it together, and then take a big bite.
And I found that sorghum syrup, which was really fun.
That was neat, isn't it?
Yeah. So
she made these delicious. I wish you could smell them. They smell wonderful. That sorghum's got a really unique smell. It's a little molasses-ish, but not quite.
That's very unique. That again. One more question for you. So who is the proud owner of the recipe box now?
I get to keep it.
You do?
I do have it.
Does it have a special place in your
I do keep it on my desk. I think these sort of cherished family recipes, and they're not expensive, so it's nothing that anyone else would find valuable, but it's real important to me because it makes me handwriting. Isn't that neat?
Yeah.
That you mentioned handwriting. Now if people ask me a recipe, I make a point to handwrite it out on a recipe card.
Yeah.
And some people think that's funny, but I think it's nice. It's like receiving a handwritten note, sort of a piece of yourself when you share a handwritten recipe with someone.
Well, and I hope everyone has the opportunity to check out your book. It's available obviously at the library, and you could buy it too because it might be one that you want to keep for yourself. And there is just some really fun and funny stories. Well, thank you, Susan. Thank you for being at the library.
It was such a pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. Well, we look forward to having you.
I know, and we'll have to get together and do some more baking and chatting.
Yes.
I would love that.
Let's do that together.